Hi, this is Jeff at Below Average, where on this channel we try to help you find small savings so you can add that little $20, $25 a month to your retirement, so you too, when you get older, will feel very comfortable when you be able to get to retirement and how easy it can be to save just a little bit of money to put towards it. Now this video I have been talking about for a long time, about how you must end up having a budget, a monthly budget. Keep track of every dollar so you know exactly where you're at. And over a period of time, you'll be able to average everything out and you'll be real comfortable in knowing how much you need for retirement per month. And the only way to know that is to actually do a monthly budget. So here I have been talking about this for a long time, and I have a 12-month budget of what my wife and I have spent on everything broken into categories. Now, excuse me. Now I don't have nothing fancy to show you, so I'm going to read off a sheet and then I'll show you, but I've kept track on my computer, real simple, just broken down. But as what I want to give you is, here is an example of the different categories and at least how I initially tracked some of the items, or all the items, actually, I'm sorry, all the items. So here it goes. I'm going to read off my sheet and then I'll end up showing you the sheet so you can at least get a little bit of a visual. Someday I'll figure out some fancy nice thing to do, or maybe something a little bit nicer, but here it is. This goes through August of 2024 all the way through July of 2025. 12 months full budget, and then I'll explain some things as I go so you get an idea, because some things aren't probably going to make a whole lot of sense unless I explain them. So first and foremost, we still have a house payment. So our house payment, insurance, and our property taxes come out to be $849.72 a month. I know if you're younger and you're watching this and you hear those $1,500, $2,000 payments, yeah, that sounds, it's a lot, and I'm telling you it is. But years ago, 25, 30 years ago, when my wife and I bought this house, the individuals we bought it from were spending $300 something a month, when for the same thing we're spending $849 on, and they had their house brand new. Ours was used. We got to stick a lot of money into it. So that's the first one, $849.72. Next one, food, $408 a month. That includes, because I've done videos on don't go buy any fast food in 2025, which we have not. Don't go crazy out and go out to eat, which we have only went out maybe 3 times this whole year. And we went to Chili's where it was cheap, very good but cheap. And I'm very cheap on the food. A lot of the meats and anything I buy are clearanced, or they happen to have a big sale. So $408 a month that's actually for a little over 2 of us. A little over, because I got my son here too. We pay for some of his stuff at this point. Next one, electric and heat. So I live in a winter state in Michigan. Our average per month, $226.59. Not bad. We had some really low months, extremely low, and some very high ones. Car insurance. This is 2 vehicles, full coverage, with the $250 and I think $250/$500 deductible. We paid an average of $140.69. Now that would be a little cheaper. The first 3 months on this 12-month plan, we had Progressive, and they went 160, and then shot up to 240 on a renewal. I went to State Farm and got it all the way down to 125 and some change a month for full coverage, and we are still paying that. So check your car insurance. Could be major savings. Next one, from the food, I separate out. I am a massive pop drinker, and I have separated out the pop that both my wife and I purchase for ourselves and drink. That has averaged $115.42 a month, and I know I could be saving some money there. I probably could shave off 25, 30 bucks a month, and maybe I'll try. I tried 1 month and I did pretty good, and that was about it. Next one, during this 12 months, we have 1 dog right now, but we did have 2. One has passed away. So on our dog food, and at the time when our dog that passed away was very sick, diabetic, With the dog insulin and the needles per month, we still averaged for the whole year $128.94. We were averaging $250 to $300 a month with our diabetic dog, just for the stuff and the amount of food he was eating, special food, and he was eating a ton. But since he has passed away, our other dog has been down to eating only $10 to $15 a month. Another small dog doesn't eat very much. So that has brought down that average. So that one will be, if I did another 12 months from here on out, and nothing happens to that animal or that dog, we should see a significant drop there. We do owe money to our son, and we have averaged $64.42 a month paying him back. Years ago, he pays me for mowing the yard and everything, and years ago we purchased all kinds of other stuff that we personally wanted for the house, like 4 or 5 years ago. I asked him if he'd want to cover that in future payments back to him, plus some of the mowing I'd deduct and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's where we were at for the last 12 months. $64.42 back to him. They'll probably in 3-4 months that'll go away. 4 months, 5 months that'll go away. So there'll be another savings. Always talk about savings. My wife has averaged $81.59 a month in spending, and that will go to just random stuff. Every week, her and her mom, they go out to the movies. We pay for that. Part of the time, I was going to until I got a regular full-time job again. But I was going to, so it was 3 of us. Sometimes we'd get some extra, we'd buy extra tickets and stuff like that, and we had a few other people go. That also includes just random stuff my wife has wanted throughout the month that didn't fit into another category. I didn't know how to classify it, so I just threw it in there as under wife, and probably could save an extra $20, $30 a month out of that too. So we got to tighten that up. Now the gas for the 2 vehicles. We have 2 vehicles we drive. Our fuel is $153.67 a month. So just to give you an example out of that, in the last 2 months, or a little over 2 months of this budget, I got a full-time job, which I do a lot more driving. So that will be significantly more. I bet you in the next 12 months when I do, it'll probably be closer to $200 or $210 a month. I get a mileage reimbursement for my driving, but I still just consider the gas I purchase no matter what. So that is up there, but it's not bad. Before that, we hardly drove anywhere. Our water bill, $32.20 a month, real cheap. Can't complain about that. Credit card, we have one credit card and an Amazon card, $120.60 a month. Now, in the last couple months, the Amazon card has been paid off, so no big deal. Haven't had to worry about a payment. The one from our credit union, we have knocked down quite a few hundreds on it, but we still owe quite a bit, and that's probably going to be, that one's still pretty stable at right around $85 a month. So there is for the next 12 months, if nothing goes wrong, there'll be a savings there too. Nice savings. Cell phones, $72.50 a month is what we average on our 2 cell phones. That was a little cheaper in the last few months. It went up $5 a phone. Now we feed outdoor birds, as you can see a little bit. We have a lot of some outdoor bird stuff. We do feed them heavily. We got deer, we got turkey, we got a groundhog, we got raccoons, we got the possums, we got rabbits all over the place, squirrels, chipmunks, and a lot of birds. And we spend an average of $76.05 a month feeding them for our enjoyment. I keep telling my wife she should try to do a YouTube channel on it, because we got a lot of vintage feeders. We got a lot of high-end feeders. She could actually give you some good tips on what feeders not to buy, because there's some that are junk out there. Okay, some people got cable, some people got satellite. We use just the Amazon Fire Stick TV with a few extra channels, and so you have to have the Amazon Prime. I have a video on that if you want to look into my archive a little bit on videos on what I think about the Amazon Fire Stick. Love it, and we spend $22.42 a month on that, and that's with a couple extra channels. And throughout the year, we've had like some 30-day freebie channels, or they were 99 cents or $1.99, and we paid for them for a few extra months and then got on out of it. Our internet, high-speed internet, we got broadband. We are very lucky and fortunate. We only pay $65.96 a month for that. Love it. I have a miscellaneous category which came out to be $36.91. This one, I don't remember exactly 100%. Some of the things that went into there, they probably could have went into the wife, could have went into something else. But and so that's one for the next 12 months I got to sharpen up. There's a few I got to sharpen up, change, and add. Now I have our Michigan tabs for our license plates for 2 vehicles. So that's just a one-time a year thing, but that broke down to monthly $27.67. You can't get out of that. And then I have where we purchase stuff from auctions, estate sales, and garage sales. These aren't things that I do to resell. These are for personal items or items we bought for other people for gifts. And we spent more than we should have, $56.33. But that's how some of these bird feeders, when you see some bird feeders up and around over here, that stuff, estate sales or auctions, by far cheaper buying it through them any other place. There's other random stuff we get for the house that's been that way too. So that does seem quite a bit for that one. And here's just the sheet. Now I have all this on my computer, so you could easily even write down this stuff all the time. It's very simple. But I have an idea. I'm not done yet. That was the big sheet, and I got a little tiny sheet to go with that one. And sorry for having to look down all the time, but so our prescriptions for my wife and I. We had 2 different kinds of insurances during this time frame, but we spent $37.09 a month on prescriptions. Our insurance for 10 months out of the 12 was through the Affordable Care Act. And then now that I got a full-time job, I got insurance through there. So that's just the prescription cost. Now I have a category called just bathroom stuff and laundry. So you got toilet paper, if you got shavers or deodorant, soap, and all this kind of stuff. I fit that in that category, and that has been cheap. So $35.84 a month. Like I said, that includes the toilet paper. That's because at the estate sales and different things like that, sometimes we get lucky and pick up 20 decent bars of soap for $4 or $5 instead of spending $3 for a bar or something along those lines. Includes toothpaste, everything, laundry detergent, all that kind of stuff. I have on here AAA towing, which we pay for, and fixing any of our autos. And we've been very fortunate this last year of not to have much in the auto fix area. And the AAA towing for a full year for 3 vehicles, I'm sorry, for actually 4 vehicles, we own 3, but we got somebody else on our plan. That was only $160, folks. $160. 100-mile towing, 3 tows per person. Phenomenal. I've had to use it just one time so far, only once in the family. Just had a car accident where I got hit by a deer, but also drivable, which is considered totaled now, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do. But so we spend an average of $44.34 a month, so very cheap. Haven't had much head fixed. Very good. That'll change soon, I'm sure. Christmas and birthdays, I combine them, and anniversaries, throw it all together, just $36.39 a month. We usually still don't spend a whole lot in those categories. Now, healthcare and insurance. This is through the Affordable Care Act. My wife and I had paid $0 money per month to have that insurance, but we did have one time for some blood work and stuff, $60-something we spent there. But my new insurance cost me almost $200 a month to have, and we still got a high deductible. But so our average last year is $21.84. This is a category that will go up because I'm spending almost $200 a month. So next 12 months is that's a big category. So any savings I had in the others will probably kind of go here. Now I got repairs on our house. We have a lot of housework that's going to need to be done, but in the last 12 months, only one item. Replaced the sub pump. It was $125, but our monthly, if I broke that down monthly, is just $10.42. We'll be going up soon. We got probably $1,000 or more to spend on some plumbing issues, similar to some electrical stuff. And then a major one is going to deal with the roof. Not quite sure if I'm going to do anything this year with that, or if that'll have to wait another year if I can. Got some big problems with it though that I got to get fixed. And then clothing. Somebody's going to mention clothing. You never mention clothing. Clothing, don't spend much at all. What we do buy, if we do buy any, is at like estate sales. And so we've had an abundance of it. Obviously, as long as I don't get any bigger and I don't get too much smaller or whatever you want to call it. The clothes buying on my half and my wife's won't be much, but we only spent $3.54, and that was in the last few months where I actually had a couple of decent pairs of shoes finally busted out and broke out on me after like 10 years of wearing them, and had to get a few used, by the way, used. Found some very nice used shoes cheap. So here's the other little sheet, just to show you an example, because I've been flapping here for a little bit. So here's some stuff I just had at Chicken Scratch, broke down, but I have a spreadsheet, like I said, for 12 months on that. So here is the grand total average 12 months, what it cost. And here it is, folks. $2,870 and some change from that. Now, obviously, there's things in there that are going to go up and a few things are going to go down. And what does this have to do with like retirement? Folks, that's the number. If I was retiring today, that's the number I need per month based on the last 12 months to live. So this is the perfect way you could easily back into what do you need for retirement. If you were about ready to start drawing Social Security, like if I was 62, I'm not there yet, I'm almost 57. But if I was 62 and that was still my number, I've been doing that for years and that's still the number, I would look at, if I was going to try to draw my Social Security 62, mine's not much. It's like $1,500 something dollars or something, $1,600. It'll change by then, but somewhere's in there. If I go to 65, it was a little over two, or I can't remember exactly. It was like maybe 22, 2,300. And at 70, it was the big one at 27. Now if I was at that age and going to retire, that 2,700 would almost cover that. And then also have, a 401k money stuck away and everything. And my wife's gets some, will have some Social Security that she hasn't worked much, but she does qualify and everything else. But this is the way you back into retirement. This is when you know how comfortable you can feel. Can I make it in retirement? Am I going to have enough money? Is you start with a budget. Now, in my budget, what's going to come out of there in 5, 6, 7 years is the house payment. At this point, that's a $500 savings. So that's a big drop. So that $2,500 could be 23. I'm still going to assume it's going to be there with random car payments and other things we fix. So I'm comfortable thinking that's the case, but you know what I'm going to do going forward? I'm still keeping track. It's simple. Doesn't take much time, much energy. Once you set it up on your computer or write it down, you just keep adding to it and keep going from there, so you can know exactly what you need for retirement to take the worries out. Don't listen to other people. Everybody's different. Keep track of where your money goes so you know where you're going to be. I know some people out there that make some pretty decent money, and like most people, they're probably thinking everything's fine, but how much do they spend per month? What are they going to need? Those same individuals, if it's just two, they might need $3,500 a month, and they might be thinking I only need $3,000. It's just going to be easy. You don't know. You need to keep track on a budget. This will focus yourself on what to pay off, like those credit cards in another year. If that's gone, that's going to be $80-something more a month saved. That'll offset different expenditures like the health insurance that I have. Sorry, folks, about that. And it's just what's going to have to be done. But you won't know until you budget. If you're in your 20s and you're watching this, you're in your 30s, 40s watching this, 50s, any age, budget. Because when you see your savings and you take that small, do you hear the Hummer? I just had a Hummer fly by me. I don't think you could see it, it's just above my head. But you take that small savings and stick it away for retirement. Let that money compound. The younger you are, the younger you start, the younger you know where your money's going, the smarter you'll make your decisions, and the more money you'll have in retirement, which makes it, when you get to my age bracket in your late 50s, it's going to make it more comfortable. You're going to feel safer about everything, and the goal is to retire as early as you can and as healthy as you can be, so you can enjoy those years before the inevitable. So folks, please don't be one. You don't want to be a renter forever. You got to buy a house. I know I'm talking that crazy money. When we first bought our house, I was making $11 an hour. Okay, so if you're out there and you're thinking of $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 payment, most people nowadays that I see on jobs, if you've been on a job for 2, 3, 4, 5 year range, you're probably making the $20. In my area, you're making 20 or 21 for sure if you've been around that long. So you're making almost twice what I was when I bought this house. So, you know, you double my payment and you're looking at $1,700 a month. You're right in the same bracket I was. You cannot pay the bills on that. You must be working a job with overtime and probably a second job, or your spouse has to work. There's no doubt about that. That's just how it is. But you can do it. You can do it. So, hey, please like, subscribe, comment down below. If you made it this far, do you see that cool bird that was just behind us? If you made it this far, I appreciate it. And also, if you subscribe, and sometimes YouTube doesn't show me it right away, or sometimes they just don't show me who subscribed, but when they do, you subscribe to me, I always subscribe back. You watch my videos, I'll throw in and watch some of your videos too. Let's see if we can help the people on the low end of the hanging fruit, the ones that we call below average. Thank you. Have a great night.